The rejected hatchlings. The great hall of the Dragon Council was filled with firelight. Golden flames burned along the walls, rising and falling like slow waves. Massive dragons sat in a wide circle, their eyes glowing with ancient power. This was the place where fate was decided, where life was judged before it even began. In the center of the hall lay dozens of eggs. Some eggs glowed bright red. Some shimmered with gold. These were the perfect ones, the strong ones, the eggs every dragon clan hoped for. One by one, the eggs began to crack. A large red egg broke open first. A hatchling stepped out, wings wide, fire burning strong in its chest. The council nodded with approval. Powerful, one dragon said. Another egg hatched. This one had shining scales and sharp claws. Excellent, said another voice. The hall filled with pride and quiet smiles. Then, the last group of eggs began to shake. These eggs were smaller. Their color was dull. Some had cracks even before hatching. When the first of them opened, the mood changed. A tiny dragon crawled out. Its wings were thin and bent. One wing shook as it tried to stand. Its fire spark faded almost at once. Silence filled the hall. Another egg opened. This hatchling's scales were pale, almost gray. The fire in its chest flickered blue, then went out completely. It looked around with wide, scared eyes. Murmurs spread through the council. Defective, broken, useless. More eggs cracked. One hatchling could not breathe fire at all. Another could barely lift its head. One had uneven horns, another a weak tail. The hall that once felt proud now felt cold. An elder dragon rose slowly. His scales were dark with age, and his voice echoed through the chamber. These hatchlings are flawed, he said. They will never survive the trials. A younger dragon growled. They will be a burden, a waste of resources. Another added, if we let them live, they will weaken dragonkind. The small hatchlings huddled together, sensing the danger even if they did not understand the words. One of them let out a soft cry, barely louder than a breath. The elder dragon raised his claw. The law is clear, he said. Those born without strength must be destroyed. The word destroyed hit the hall like a hammer. The flames along the walls burned higher. Far above the council floor, on a quiet observation platform, stood a single human. He had been silent the entire time. Humans were rare in dragon space. This one was there as a cultural observer, nothing more. No one expected him to speak. No one expected him to care. He watched the hatchlings closely. He saw the way they trembled. He saw how they pressed close together for warmth. He saw fear, not weakness. The elder dragon lifted his claw higher. Prepare the fire. At that moment, a calm voice broke the silence. I'll take them. The words were soft, almost gentle. The flames flickered. Every dragon turned. The human had stepped forward. For a long second, no one spoke. Then laughter rolled through the hall, deep, thunderous dragon laughter. A dragon scoffed. A human. Another dragon leaned forward. Do you even understand what they are? The elder dragon narrowed his eyes. Repeat what you said. The human stood straight. He did not shout. He did not bow. I said, he repeated, I'll take them. The laughter faded, replaced by confusion and anger. They are flawed. A council member snapped. They are broken. They will never breathe true fire, said another. The human looked down at the hatchlings again. They are alive, he said simply. The elder dragon's voice grew cold. Human, do you know the cost of this choice? I do, the human replied. Do you know they may bring you nothing but failure? Yes. They may never fly. I know. They may never be strong. The human paused. Then he smiled just a little. Neither was my kind, he said. Once. The hall fell silent again. The elder dragon studied him for a long time. You would take responsibility for them? The dragon asked. Yes. You would feed them? Yes. Protect them? Yes. Even if they bring you shame? The human did not look away. Even then, the hatchlings shifted. One of them slowly crawled forward, stopping just short of the human's feet. It lifted its head. The elder dragon noticed. So did everyone else. At last, the elder dragon lowered his claw. Very well, he said. Take them. A pause. But know this, the dragon added. When they fail, Do not expect mercy. The human nodded. He knelt down and gently gathered the small, shaking hatchlings into his arms. For the first time since they hatched, none of them cried. High above, the flames dimmed slightly, and deep within the ancient hall, something old and powerful shifted, as if the galaxy itself had just taken its first breath before a storm. The human's strange choice. No one followed the human when he left the Dragon Council Hall. The great doors closed behind him with a deep echo. Firelight faded, and the sound of ancient dragons disappeared. Only silence remained. The human walked through a long stone passage, carrying the hatchlings in his arms. They were light, too light. That scared him more than their flaws. The hatchlings trembled, pressed together like they believed the world itself wanted them gone. One of them had wrapped its tiny claws around the human's sleeve and refused to let go. The human did not pull away. Instead, he whispered softly, "You're safe. For now." The dragons had not laughed because they were cruel. They laughed because they were sure that this human had just made the worst choice of his life. The human's assigned habitat was small, built for research, not life. Cold metal walls. No fire pits. No sky. The moment he stepped inside, warning lights turned red. Foreign life forms detected. Biological risk extreme. The system demanded containment. The human ignored it. He placed the hatchlings gently on the floor and removed his coat, wrapping them inside it. The smallest one stopped shaking almost instantly. That surprised him. He had studied dragons for years, read every report, watched every test, but no record ever said this. They are afraid. One hatchling tried to breathe fire. Nothing happened. It squeaked in panic. The human quickly leaned down. Hey, it's okay. You don't have to." The hatchling blinked at him. No one had ever told it that before. Across the station, alarms quietly sent reports to the Dragon Council. Hatchlings transferred. Status unstable. An elder dragon watched the data scroll past. "They will not last a day," one council member said. Another added, "The human will regret this." The elder dragon said nothing. He was watching one specific feed. The human was sitting on the floor, at eye level with the hatchlings. Not above them, not commanding them, just there. The elder dragon frowned. That was not how power worked. Back in the habitat, the human placed small bowls of nutrient gel near the hatchlings. They did not move. They stared at him. Slowly, he took a spoon, tasted the gel himself, and nodded. See? Not poison. A risky move. Dragons were not known for patience. Still, one hatchling crawled forward. It sniffed the bowl. Then another followed. Within minutes, all of them were eating. Messy, awkward, alive. The human released a breath he didn't realize he was holding. Then the temperature dropped. The smallest hatchling let out a weak cry. Its scales dimmed. The human felt it immediately. "Cold," he whispered. Dragon hatchlings needed heat. Real heat. Fire. The station had none. The human ran. He tore open emergency lockers, bypassed safety locks, and rerouted power from life support systems. Sparks flew. Alarms screamed. Finally, a makeshift heat core ignited. The room glowed warm orange. The hatchlings relaxed. One of them rolled onto its back and made a soft, strange sound. The human froze. Was that a laugh? The council feed went silent. Multiple dragons leaned forward. "What is he doing?" someone asked. "He is breaking safety law," another snapped. "But they are stabilizing," a third whispered. The elder dragon's eyes narrowed. No human had ever stabilized dragon hatchlings before, especially not flawed ones. Hours passed. The human did not sleep. He watched every breath, every twitch, every tiny movement. At one point, one hatchling crawled up his arm and fell asleep against his neck. His heart pounded. Dragons were predators, and yet this one trusted him. Outside the habitat, unseen by the human, sensors spiked. Energy levels rose. Not fire. Something else. Blue. Deep within one hatchling's chest, a broken fire core pulsed faintly, then steadied. The system flagged it. Anomalous activity detected. In the council chamber, alarms flared. "That is impossible," a dragon hissed. The elder dragon stood slowly. "Bring the feed back," he ordered. The screen lit up again. The human was still sitting on the floor, one hand resting gently among the hatchlings. No force, no command, just presence. The elder dragon felt something uncomfortable twist inside him. Doubt. Far below, the human whispered without knowing he was being watched. "You don't have to be strong today," he said. "You just have to live." The blue energy pulsed again, stronger this time. And somewhere deep in the ancient laws of dragonkind, a rule that had stood for thousands of years began to crack. What humans see that dragons don't. The Dragon Council did not sleep that cycle. Neither did the human. Deep inside the research station, the lights were low. The metal walls glowed softly from the heat core the human had built by hand. It was not perfect. It was not safe. But it was working. The hatchlings were alive. That alone should have been impossible. The human sat against the wall, eyes tired but open. He counted breaths. He listened for pain. He waited for failure. Failure never came. Instead, something else began. One hatchling stood. It was the one with the broken fire core, the weakest, according to every dragon record ever written. Its scales were pale, its chest cracked with faint blue lines that should not exist. The hatchling opened its mouth. No fire came out, but the air changed. The human felt it first. A pressure, like the room was holding its breath. A soft blue glow formed around the hatchling's chest. Silent, cold, calm. The station's sensor screamed. Unknown energy signature, not classified as fire. Across the stars, Dragon Council alarms erupted. "That is not dragon fire," one elder growled. "Then what is it?" another demanded. No one answered. The human slowly stood. He had not stepped back. He knelt down instead, lowering himself until his eyes met the hatchlings. "It's okay," he said softly. "You're not breaking." The glow did not explode. It stabilized. The blue light wrapped gently around the hatchling's body, like armor made of moonlight. The human swallowed. He had seen this before. Not in dragons. In humans. In deep space missions, when reactors failed and hope should have died, humans adapted. Changed. Survived. The records called it anomaly. Humans called it will. The Dragon Council chamber filled with tension. "That energy breaks classification law," one dragon snapped. "It breaks our understanding," another whispered. The elder dragon remained silent, eyes locked on the feed. "What is the human doing differently?" he finally asked. No one answered, because no one wanted to say it. He wasn't training them. He wasn't forcing power out of them. He wasn't correcting their flaws. He was letting them be. Days passed. The hatchlings changed. The one with bent wings began to run, fast. Faster than any hatchling should move. It could not fly, but it did not need to. It moved like lightning across the floor, turning sharply, never falling. The one with dull scales stopped trying to breathe fire. Instead, when threatened, its scales hardened. Not hotter, stronger, like living metal. The smallest hatchling, the one barely alive at birth, refused to stay weak. It watched the human. It copied him. When it fell, it stood back up. Again, and again, and again. The human noticed, and he smiled. Dragon observers argued constantly. "They are deviating," one said. "They are becoming unstable," another warned. "They should be terminated," a third insisted. The elder dragon raised his claw for silence. "No," he said slowly. "They are becoming something else." The room went quiet. That word frightened them more than weakness ever had. The human tested nothing with force. When a hatchling failed, he waited. When one panicked, he sat beside it. When one hurt itself trying to be strong, he whispered, "Not yet." And somehow they listened. Not because he was powerful, but because he never treated them like they were broken. Then the signal came. A deep space warning. Unidentified fleet. Border breach. Dragon territory. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Activate the guardians. Call the war broods. Prepare the fire lines. The elder dragon turned slowly back to the feed. The human was asleep for the first time. The hatchlings were curled around him, protecting him. One of them lifted its head. Blue energy flickered again, stronger now. Focused. The elder dragon felt something cold slide down his spine. "They are not weapons," he whispered. "They are answers." The alarm grew louder. Enemy ships crossed into dragon space. And for the first time in history, the Dragon Council faced a truth they were not ready for. Their strongest warriors were predictable. Their perfect dragons followed rules. But the flawed ones were learning how to adapt. And they had learned it from a human. The galaxy under fire. The first explosion did not happen on a battlefield. It happened in the Dragon Council chamber. A massive hologram flared to life, showing the edge of dragon space. Bright stars vanished as dark shapes tore through them. Enemy ships, hundreds of them, long, sharp, silent. They moved with purpose. Identify the fleet, an elder dragon commanded. The system answered in a cold voice. Unknown species. Tactical formation, adaptive. Threat level, extinction. The room shook. Dragons had fought wars for thousands of years. They had faced empires, machines, and gods. But this was different. These ships did not slow. They did not send warnings. They did not challenge. They simply came. The first dragon defense line engaged within minutes. Elite war dragons, perfect hatchlings grown into legends, rose into space. Their scales burned red-hot. Their fire turned vacuum into glowing storms. At first, it looked easy. Enemy ships melted. Dragon commanders roared in victory. Then the enemy changed. Shields shifted frequency. Armor reformed. Fire passed through harmlessly. One by one, dragon attacks stopped working. They are learning, a commander shouted. Too late. Black beams cut through dragon wings. Perfect scale shattered. Ancient warriors screamed as they fell into the void. The Dragon Council watched in horror. Our strongest are falling, one dragon whispered. No, the elder dragon said slowly. They're being studied. The enemy did not fear fire. They measured it. They adapted to it. Every perfect dragon fought the same way, and that sameness was killing them. Deep inside the research station, alarm screamed. War alert. All assets requested. The human woke instantly. The hatchlings reacted faster. They spread out around him, low growls filling the room. Blue light flickered. Hardened scales locked into place. Bent wings flexed, ready to run, not fly. The human read the alert. His hand shook. War. Dragon war. He looked at the hatchlings. They'll want to use you, he said quietly. The smallest hatchling stepped closer. It placed its head against his chest. The human closed his eyes. He already knew. In the council chamber, voices rose. We are losing sectors. Our fire is useless. Send reserves. The elder dragon turned toward the silent screen showing the human station. No, he said. Every dragon froze. Send the flawed ones. The room erupted. They are untested. They are unstable. They are children. The elder dragon's eyes burned. So were our legends, he said. Silence fell. The human received the order moments later. Deploy hatchlings. Combat authorization granted. He stared at the message. Then he deleted it. He opened a private channel instead. To the Dragon Council, he said calmly. They are not your weapons. A pause. The elder dragon appeared on screen. Then what are they? He asked. The human looked at the hatchlings, alive, shaking, powerful in ways no one understood. They are survivors, he replied, and they fight differently. Enemy ships reached the inner worlds. Cities burned. Dragon fire filled the sky and failed again. Then, something new entered the battlefield. Small, fast, unpredictable. A hatchling ran across a broken station hull and leapt, too far to fly. Blue energy exploded beneath its feet. It launched forward like a living missile. Enemy sensors failed. Targeting systems lost lock. Another hatchling slammed into an enemy ship, not with fire, but with hardened scales and pure force. The hull buckled inward. The enemy fleet hesitated. For the first time, they did not understand. The Dragon Council stared in silence. They adapted first, one whispered. The elder dragon felt something twist deep inside him. Hope. The human watched from the station, fists clenched. Not because they were strong, he said softly, but because they were allowed to change. The battle had only begun. The enemy would respond. They always did. But now, the galaxy had something new on its side. Not perfect dragons, not ancient fire, but something far more dangerous. Flawed beings who refused to break, and a human who had taught them how. The battle no one expected. The enemy fleet slowed. That had never happened before. Their ships had crossed galaxies without fear, crushing empires that relied on old power and simple strength. They adapted fast. They learned faster. But now their formation broke. Sensors flashed warnings they could not explain. Unpredictable energy patterns. Tactical failure. The flawed hatchlings moved like living errors in the enemy's perfect calculations. One hatchling sprinted across the shattered remains of a dragon cruiser. Its bent wings folded tight against its body. It did not try to fly. It jumped. Enemy targeting systems locked on, then failed. Blue energy burst from beneath its feet, bending gravity just enough to throw every aim off by meters. The hatchling crashed into the enemy ship's hull, claws digging in. It did not burn the metal. It froze it. The hull cracked. The ship tore itself apart, trying to compensate. Another hatchling flew badly. Its wings shook, uneven and weak. Enemy sensors ignored it, marking it as non-threat. That was their mistake. As enemy fire passed through the space around it, the hatchling's dull scales hardened into layered plates. Energy weapons scattered. Physical rounds bounced away. The hatchling slammed into a shield generator and crushed it with pure weight. The ship went dark. Dragon commanders watched in stunned silence. "They're not fighting like dragons," one whispered. "They're not fighting like anything," another replied. They were not following doctrine. They were reacting. Every move was different. Every attack was wrong. And that made it perfect. The enemy responded. New weapons deployed. Energy nets spread across space, designed to trap fast targets. Blue flashes lit the void as ships recalculated, adjusting in real time. A net caught one hatchling. It screamed. The human felled it from a station. His hands clenched. "Move," he whispered, as if distance did not matter. The trapped hatchling stopped struggling. Its fire core pulsed. Not red, not orange, blue. The net shattered outward. Enemy sensors went blind. For the first time in recorded history, the enemy fleet sent a message. Requesting data. Identify. Command structure. They were looking for the leader. The Dragon Council laughed bitterly. "They think this is planned," an elder said. "They think someone is controlling them." The elder dragon turned slowly toward the human's feet. "No," he said quietly. "They are choosing." The enemy adjusted again. Heavy ships moved forward. Larger weapons. Stronger shields. Dragon war broods tried to re-enter the fight. They failed. Predictable fire met prepared defense. Perfect strategy met perfect counters. The hatchlings slipped through the gaps. Small, fast, unrepeatable. One hatchling landed on an enemy command ship. Inside, alarms blared as systems lost control. The hatchling did not destroy the core. It destroyed the logic. Cables froze. Systems desynced. Commands looped endlessly. The ship collided with its own fleet. Chaos spread. The Dragon Council stood. Every member. They were no longer watching children. They were watching a new form of warfare. One dragon whispered, "We would have killed them." No one argued. Back on the station, the human watched the battle feed. His breath was shallow. This was not victory. Not yet. Enemies always learned. He saw the shift before anyone else. Enemy ships pulled back, far back. Weapons power down. That was worse. "Council," he said urgently. "They're not retreating." The elder dragon's eyes widened. "They're analyzing," he said. Then the warning came. Enemy fleet reconfiguring. Unknown final protocol initiated. Space went dark. Stars vanished. Even the hatchlings paused. Something massive was coming. Something that would not care about flaws. Something that erased everything. The enemy's last answer. The human whispered a single word. "Run." The hatchlings did not. They turned. They faced the darkness. Blue energy flared brighter than ever before. And deep within the enemy fleet, a weapon older than empires began to wake. From flawed to legendary. Space went silent. Not calm. Empty. Stars dimmed, as if something massive was pulling light itself inward. Enemy ships formed a wide circle, far from the battle, their weapons powered down, not in fear but in focus. The Dragon Council knew that formation. Ancient memory stirred in their blood. That is an extinction pattern, an elder whispered. The human felt it too. Every warning system screamed. Gravitational anomaly detected. Reality instability rising. The enemy was not aiming at dragons. They were aiming at everything. At the center of the enemy formation, space folded. A dark shape emerged, slow, heavy, impossible. It was not a ship. It was a weapon, a void engine, designed to collapse star systems. No fire could touch it. No shield could stop it. Once activated, nothing survived. The Dragon Council froze. Our fire is useless, one dragon said quietly. Our numbers mean nothing, another whispered. The elder dragon closed his eyes. We have lost, he said. The hatchlings hovered in broken formation, small shapes against endless dark. They felt the pull of the void engine. Gravity twisted around them. Space itself pressed down. One hatchling cried out, its hardened scales cracking. Another stumbled mid-flight, blue energy flickering. The human watched from the station, fists shaking. Come back, he whispered. You don't have to do this. The hatchlings did not retreat. They looked at each other. No command passed between them. No plan, only understanding. The smallest hatchling moved forward, the one that should have died first. Its broken fire core pulsed violently. Blue cracks spread across its chest. Pain rippled through its body. Dragon observers gasped. It will tear itself apart, one cried. The human slammed his hand against the screen. Stop, he shouted. The hatchling did not stop. It remembered falling. It remembered failing. It remembered the human's voice saying, live. The blue energy stabilized. Not outward, inward. The hatchling became heavy. So heavy that gravity bent around it. The void engine reacted. Its pull faltered. Enemy sensors screamed. Core resistance detected. Unexpected mass event. The enemy adjusted, increasing output. The void grew darker. The pressure doubled. Two hatchlings fell back, barely holding themselves together. Then the others moved. The fast runner anchored itself against debris, using speed to counterpull. The armored one wrapped itself around the smallest, sharing the strain. The silent flyer spread its uneven wings, not to fly, but to stabilize space itself. They were not strong alone. Together they held. The Dragon Council stood in stunned silence. They're sharing load, one elder whispered. They're doing what our strongest never learned, another replied. They are adapting together. The elder dragon's voice shook. We taught them fire, he said. The human taught them trust. The void engine began to crack. Not from attack, from contradiction. It was designed to erase. It could not understand resistance that did not fight. The hatchlings pushed back, not with force, but with presence. They existed where they should not. And that broke the math of the universe. The void engine collapsed inward. Light rushed back. Stars reappeared. Enemy ships lost formation, spinning wildly as gravity normalized. Then, the void engine imploded. Silently. Gone. For a long moment, no one spoke. The battlefield was empty. Then the hatchlings fell. The human screamed their names and ran. He did not care about protocols. He did not care about dragons watching. He only cared that they were still breathing. The hatchlings lay scattered, weak, smoking with fading blue light. Alive, barely. The Dragon Council bowed, not as a gesture, as instinct. They are no longer flawed, an elder said. They are legendary. The human looked up, eyes burning. They were never flawed, he replied. You just didn't know how to look. Far away, surviving enemy ships fled, not in retreat, in fear. Their final data packet carried a single warning to the rest of their kind. Do not engage humans. They teach weakness to survive. The human knelt beside the hatchlings and whispered the same words he had spoken on the first day. You did enough. And for the first time in dragon history, the galaxy agreed. The human who changed dragonkind. The galaxy did not celebrate right away. Victory came quietly. Broken ships drifted through space. Burned stars slowly returned to light. The enemy fleet was gone, but not forgotten. The hatchlings lay motionless inside the recovery chamber. Monitors beeped softly. Too softly. The humans stood alone beside them. Dragons filled the observation hall behind the glass wall. Ancient, powerful, silent. None of them spoke, because for the first time in their long history, they were afraid, not of an enemy, but of loss. The smallest hatchling stirred, just a little. The human froze. Then another hatchling breathed out a weak puff of blue light. It did not burn. It warmed. The human laughed, and then cried both at once. "They're alive," he whispered. "They're still alive." A sound spread through the hall. Not cheers. Relief. Days passed. The hatchlings healed slowly. Their bodies were forever changed. Their scales carried strange patterns now. Marks of survival, not perfection. They would never be normal dragons. That frightened the council, because normal had failed. The Dragon Council gathered again in the Great Hall. The same hall where the hatchlings had once been marked for death. The human stood at the center this time, not as an observer, not as a guest, but as someone the galaxy now listened to. The elder dragon lowered his massive head. "We were wrong," he said. The words echoed like thunder. Gasps rippled through the chamber. Dragons did not say that. Ever. "You judge by fire," the human replied calmly. "You judge by strength." The elder dragon nodded. "And you judge by life." A new law was spoken that day. Not written in flame, written in memory. No hatchling will ever be destroyed for weakness again. The hall trembled, not from force but from meaning. The hatchlings were brought in. They walked, not flew. They walked beside the human. Dragons stepped aside, instinctively. The galaxy changed after that. Dragon academies rewrote their trials. Humans were invited, not as allies, but as teachers. They taught one lesson, not how to fight, but how to endure. Other species noticed. Empires that once hunted the weak began to hesitate, because now weakness had a history of becoming something worse, something unpredictable. The enemy never returned. Scouts later found their abandoned worlds empty, data logs erased. Only one message repeated across every system they had touched. Avoid humans. They do not create weapons. They create survivors. Years later, the hatchlings stood atop a high ridge under an open sky. They were grown now, still strange, still different, still legendary. The humans stood with them, older, slower, smiling. One dragon lowered its massive head and gently touched his shoulder. Not as a master, not as a protector, as family. A young dragon once asked the Elder Council, "Why are humans so dangerous?" The elder answered softly, "Because when the universe says, 'You are broken,' they whisper back." The elder paused, remembering a quiet voice in a hall of fire. "I'll take them,"